Hey guys, so today I'm going to talk about The Last Airbender. Now, there's been some debate whether this is an anime or, just an animated series because it's not made in Japan. But either way, this is a very good story. The storyline in this is incredibly interesting. It's a shonen that has some of the shonen cliches, but they overcome it a little bit by inventing this interesting world behind it. I think I did a review of Bleach. It's kind of the same thing. The world that they create around the shonen storyline, it makes the series incredibly interesting. Also, the characters, while there's not a whole lot of development with the characters, there's definitely significant changes that they go through. Chiefly, the most obvious one's Prince Zuko. But you can look at other characters. They all have major things that change their outlook. They also, the series isn't super long, which is a big plus for me. And it kind of just gets straight to the point, which is always good in my opinion. Even though they are going from island to island, basically, gaining knowledge of different elements and opening chakras at one point, and there's some stuff that basically it's all about this airbender getting ready for this final battle with the Fire Lord, who's basically the king of the Fire Kingdom. The whole kingdom structure I like because it's kind of simplistic, but in a way it's an interesting take on the element theme. You know what I'm saying? Instead of having a few people that have masters of elements, you have entire nations that are kind of built around it, and it's an interesting concept. The differences in the cultures that exist are also fairly they're really kind of distinct, and they are in a way they don't. How do I put it? They're distinct and they don't really flip over to the other nations. You know what I'm saying? They're like what you would characterize, nations as. There's little cultural differences. But there's overlaps. So it's interesting, and I think that they did that incredibly well. I will say I think that the movie that they made, The Last Airbender, was horrible movie. Don't see that. Really. But the animated series, amazing. The books, I have not read the books, but I've heard that they're pretty good. But yeah, I think that one of the most interesting parts of the storyline is towards the end. Like the last couple, really the last chapter, to watch Zuko's sister basically collapse into this. I don't want to give too much away, but it's interesting to watch the transformation of that character, is what I should say. Till I think the last episode, or the second to last episode. And the final episodes I think are a good way of making kind of a ending you knew was going to happen take place but still be interesting. It does follow the hero's journey to the letter, but because they've got all this other sub stories and stuff, it kind of avoids the huge cliches, or it minimizes them. Also, the comedy in the series, unlike a lot of animated comedies, and I don't know if this is a cultural thing or something, but shonen from Japan a lot of times aren't funny. They have comedy relief, and it's just not funny. I'll use. There's some debate on whether this is a shonen, but I throw it into a shonen category. Full Metal Alchemist. They basically make fun of the guy's height. The Full Metal Alchemist. And it's not funny. It's just kind of flat to me. It's not very funny. But this actually has some pretty decent humor. I mean, it's not something that you're going to like laugh every minute of the show, but you know, it keeps it does what it's supposed to. There's one episode in particular that is by far my favorite, and it's a episode where they end up going to a play about the Avatar, and in the Fire Nation, and it's just it's hella funny because it's how it would be how the Fire Nation would view the storyline. I think that they also they also do not just demonize the Fire Nation, which I think actually adds a lot of depth to the storyline, because a lot of times in shonen, when you're fighting an enemy, your enemy is the essence of evil, and while that's not a bad, that happens. That's constant. That happens all the time in stories. I think that having it be a little bit less black and white makes it a lot more real, and I think that they did that in the series as well. The dubbing is it matches any dub in quality. It's great dubbing. If you ever watch the end of the series, there's parts where they bring up this Zuko's mother, and the reason why they did that is they were going to have a whole sub-story that they were going to make after this, dealing with them trying to find her, but then they decided not to. And I'm kind of glad that they did, because I think that this was their ending was good enough. If they would have tried to continue it, I think they would have fucked themselves over. Now, they're supposed to be making a new Avatar series, by the way, which is super cool in my opinion. It's supposed to take place after, it's supposed to be like children's of children's, generation after generation past where we are now. And it's supposed to have a female lead, which should make this, it's going to change the series a lot from what I understand, but I look forward to seeing how it is. If it's anything like this series, I'm going to love it. So I'm excited. So yeah, that's basically it. If you like this show, drop a comment. If you don't like this show, I'd like to hear why. I'm just curious at this point. Once again, I did make a new channel. I did find a way to use my computer and upload videos, so I might have some videos uploaded by the time I upload this one. Once again, I subscribe, comment, rate. Have a great day. Bye.